She was small, deadly, and bleeding, one of the last of her kind. Karen of the Yithani Huntresses stood in the ruins of a fallen moon base, her twin blades shattered, her breathing ragged. Alien fire rained from the sky above, and her people's war cries had already fallen silent. And yet she stood, staring up at the towering human whose armor still steamed from battle. He had crushed a war beast with his bare hands minutes ago. She had seen it. His name was Sergeant Miles Thorne, and to the galaxy he was a monster made of muscle, rage, and Earth's darkest combat genes. She looked up at him, eyes glowing faintly beneath her cracked visor. "Human," she said, voice barely a whisper. "I am the last blade of Yithani. Our strength is gone. Yours is not. Lend it to me, just once." He could have walked away. The mission was already a blood-soaked mess. Earth's command had pulled back. No reason to stay. But something about her tiny, broken, unyielding reminded him of the stories Earth forgot to tell, of the little ones who refused to die quietly, of the warriors too small to be noticed until they cut down giants. He knelt, not out of respect, but readiness. "I fight with you," he said, "but we end it my way." She blinked, then nodded once. That was the pact. One human, one huntress, against a battalion of exo-armored slavers that had just torn through 5 colonies. The enemy laughed when they saw her. They screamed when they saw him. And then they stopped making sounds at all. She moved like fire through grass, too fast, too graceful to hit. He moved like a collapsing mountain, unstoppable, brutal, silent. He tore open mech cockpits with his fist. She leapt through plasma fire and never touched the ground twice. Together, they didn't fight like a unit. They fought like a myth. Something old, something the galaxy wasn't ready to believe in. The last few enemy survivors tried to flee, Karen's knife, salvaged from her mother's hilt, found a throat before Miles even had to turn. When it was over, when the dust cooled and the sky stopped burning, she stood beside him, covered in ash, blood on her hands, armor shattered, but her spine still straight, her pride intact. She looked up at the human who had turned the tide with her and said, simply, "You could have been a god." He replied, "I'd rather be your friend." The alliance that formed after that day wasn't born of treaties or diplomacy. It was born of blood, of survival, of one moment when a tiny alien huntress asked for a human strength, and he gave it without hesitation. And from that moment on, no one ever underestimated Earth or the Yithani again.